Welcome to Character Kitchen. Now, before we do anything at Character Kitchen, we have worship time first. So, call your mother, call your father, call your friends or your brothers and your sisters. It's worship time.
Dry desert landscape of ancient Iraq lies hidden ruins which hold enchanting stories from the sands of time.
Wait a second. Sands of time? Oh, I get it. Please continue.
A long time ago, in a land far, far away, the city of Shushan was ruled by a powerful king of such splendor and majesty. His name was King Ahasuerus. The king decided that he ought to display riches of his glorious kingdom and demonstrate his power by holding a feast for 180 days.
Whoa. Didn't people have jobs to do? Didn't they go to school? You can't have a party for 180 days. That's just silly.
Nevertheless, during the party, the king called for his beautiful wife, Queen Vashti, to stand before him so that everyone could admire her beauty. However, she refused. The king was enraged with anger, and after quickly conversing with his closest advisors, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, he issued a royal decree so that all wives will honor their husbands, and Queen Vashti was to never again come before the king. And so our story begins. Mordecai was a Benjamite Jew who raised his younger cousin Esther like she was his own daughter. The Benjamites and other Jews had come to Shushan as captives from the land of Judah and were now living among the people of Persia. One day, there was a knock at the door.
By order of the king, let beautiful young virgins be sought for the king. You have been summoned to the palace on account of your most pleasing beauty. Follow me.
You'd better go, Esther, but don't reveal to anyone, our people or our family. Mordecai followed Esther to the palace, and each day he paced outside the women's quarters, hoping to find out what had happened to her.
Move out of my way, you nincompoop!
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just so concerned about...
Blah, blah, blah. Can't you see how important I am?
Oh, Haggai, thank you for your kindness towards me, but I am so completely, utterly, and absolutely terrified to see the king. What if he doesn't like me? And I'm cast aside along with his other concubines, or worse.
Esther, you're the most beautiful one here, and more importantly, that you are the most thoughtful and sincere and warm-hearted of all the women brought before the king. Bring hither the one they call Esther.
I think that's you. Don't worry about a thing. After 12 months of preparations, each young woman went in to meet with the king. Only the ones that pleased the king were called by name to appear before him a second time. Esther had found favor in the sight of all who saw her, and the king loved Esther more than any other woman. He made a feast for her and set the royal crown upon her head. As Mordecai sat outside the king's gate, he overheard 2 doorkeepers plotting to kill the king.
He's a rotter. What a lousy king. No good so-and-so.
After reporting this plot to Esther, she then informed the king, and 2 men were hanged on the gallows. Thus, Mordecai's loyalty to the king was recorded in the Book of Chronicles. After these things, King Azarias promoted Haman the Agagite, and so all the king's servants within the king's gate would have to bow down to him. All that is, except Mordecai.
Oi! Why do you transgress the king's command? He should be bowing down to Haman, shouldn't he? Yeah, he should.
Mordecai remained standing when Haman passed by, which filled Haman with wrath. The other servants within the king's gate had informed Haman that Mordecai was a Jew, and so from then on, Haman sought to destroy all the Jews in the kingdom.
My king, there are certain people scattered among the people of the kingdom, and they keep different laws and do not keep the king's laws. Therefore, if it please the king, let a decree be written that they should be destroyed.
My dear Haman, that sounds like a reasonable request. Do to them as seems good to you. And so, by written decree, instructions were sent out across the kingdom, and on the 13th day of the 12th month of Adar, everyone was to turn and attack the Jews and plunder their possessions.
That's not very nice. That mean old Haman needs a good telling off.
Yes. Well, when Mordecai learned about the decree, he and the other Jews cried out in mourning, and with much fasting, weeping, and wailing, they called on their God. Mordecai sent word to Esther saying,
Do not think in your heart that you will escape the king's palace, any more than all the other Jews. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and our father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Esther then responded, saying,
Go, gather all the Jews who are present in Shushan, and fast for me. Neither eat nor drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will fast likewise. And so I will go to the king, which is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. I'm only a small little girl. What is it I could possibly do? I've not lived nearly long enough to be of any service to you.
My dear, you are in the right spot, the right place, the right time, and whatnot. You must go before the king, and this is what you must sing.
If I have favor in your sight, then please come and eat this night. At the banquet I will prepare, and my request to you declare.
And my dear, please don't forget, invite Haman to the banquet, and explain before the king how he plans this wicked thing.
Our people are in distress.
Their lives your ultimate test.
Will I go before the king and risk everything?
If you perish,
If I perish, wicked Haman won't have his way. Please fast for me these next 3 days, and then I will do as you say.
After this, Esther then entered the royal court where the king sat on his throne. Anyone who does this without being summoned is put to death, unless the king holds out his golden scepter to allow this person to approach him.
what do you wish, Queen Esther?
If it please the king, Let the king and Haman come today to the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Bring Haman quickly, that he may do as Esther has said. What is it that you want, Esther? Ask and it shall be done for you.
If I have found favor in the sight of the king, then please come to a banquet that I will prepare tomorrow, and I will then ask that you fulfill my request.
So Haman left the banquet filled with joy, but when he saw that Mordecai would still not bow before him, he became angry.
Queen Esther invited no one but me to come with the king to her banquet, and tomorrow I am invited again. But that sniveling, no-good nincompoop Mordecai still won't bow down to me.
Why don't you make some gallows and ask the king in the morning if it's okay to hang Mordecai on them, and then go on your merry little way to the banquet.
That night, the king could not sleep, and so he commanded that the book of the Chronicles be read to him. When he heard the matter of Mordecai's loyalty to the king regarding the 2 doorkeepers who plotted to kill him, he asked,
What honor has been bestowed to Mordecai for his loyalty? Nothing, your majesty. My dear Haman, what shall be done for the man whom the king delights to honor? Well, you should give him your royal robe, and then put him on your horse. Yes, and then parade him through the city, with someone shouting, Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delights to honor.
What a jolly good idea. This is what should be done to Mordecai.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This doesn't look good for you. For if Mordecai is really Jewish, then all your plans will fail.
Haman, you are properly requested to attend Her Royal Highness Queen Esther's banquet.
So what is it that you want, Esther? Ask and it shall be done for you.
If I have found favor in your sight, O king, let my life and that of my people be saved as my request, for we are all to be killed.
Who is he? Where is he? Who would dare do such a thing?
The enemy is this wicked man, Haman.
Queen Esther, darling, I mean, Your Majesty, Your Most Royal Highness, I'm so speechless. Please don't do this to me.
Will he also assault the queen while I'm in the house?
Look, Your Majesty, the gallows which Haman was to hang Mordecai on.
Hang him on it! And so it was that the evil plans of the wicked man Haman came back on his own head. The king promoted Mordecai to rule over all that Haman possessed, and a new written decree was sent throughout all the kingdom, instructing the Jews to protect their lives against all who would attack them on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. This day became known as Purim.
Jesus,